Okay, day 27 for reading. We are back into Storyworks, and you would have logged on from this link that's in your announcements. It looks different on my screen. I apologize. But Collier/Arnold 2020. And then you're going to get into Storyworks. And I'm in as a teacher right now, so it may look slightly different. But you're going to look for this article, The Little Boy with the Raincoat. And you're going to find There Were Giants. Again, I prefer to start the audio that's at the bottom of the screen for you all, and also have my presentation view open just because the story looks better to me. So I've read through the story, and it's a little more complicated of text. It's pretty high level thinking. There's a lot of figurative language, and it may be a little difficult to figure out what's going on. It's a fairly short read if you are using the audio text, so I encourage you to listen to it a couple times. And again, you can use just the text reader from the main screen. Again, it looks different on mine. You can just hit that. Sorry, right there it is. You can just hit the text to speech, but it's going to not be as good as when it's narrated. So this text to speech is different than if you use this story read aloud, and that's usually towards the bottom of your page. Okay, so I would play that while I'm looking at the story. So it's about this little girl that has to go spend time with her grandfather, and he considers himself living off the grid, meaning he lives away from everything. And clearly she doesn't really want to be there, and she's not enjoying the situation that she's in. So today we're looking at setting. Sorry, that's for tomorrow. We are looking at the setting. Setting is the time period and place in which a story happens. By describing the setting, an author can help you imagine living in that world. So we're just going to kind of walk through these and talk about some of these and make sure you really understand the setting. So it says, where does the story take place? And how does she feel about being there? And so you need to understand that she's in a cabin far away, and the place that she's at is called Thumb Lake. So you could say out, away from people, isolated would be a good word to describe where she was. Thumb Lake. And then her feeling, if you want to quote the text, she feels like a prisoner, is how she described it. And then you could go on to say she's unhappy, any of those things, so that you show that you understand her feelings. What time of year does the story take place? The illustrations show you that it's winter and there's been a heavy snow. And as you read the story, something's going to happen to Gramps. And then Marie's going to go on a journey to get help. Okay, and that weather is going to lead to her journey being dangerous. And I don't want to give everything away if you're listening to this before you've listened to the story, but you definitely want to talk about the winter and what the weather did. How did it lead to what happens to Grandpa? So the weather impacted Grandpa. And then you also want to make sure you understand about the trip that Marie has to take. I don't want to give too much away, but you definitely want to listen and hear what Marie has to go do and how the weather impacted that. That's really going to help with your understanding of the story. What details of the setting show that the story takes place in modern times? What details make Marie and Gramps live as if they are in the past? And how old is the cabin in the story? Who built it? How are these facts about the cabin important to the story? So those are some other things that you're listening for. If you're struggling with understanding this story, give me a call. We'll walk through it together. I do encourage you to listen to it 2 times because it is a harder read than we've had for the past couple of days. So I would definitely listen to this story multiple times and then just do your best on these setting questions. And then tomorrow we're going to be discussing theme, and I'll walk you through some of those questions as well.